In the last lecture, we have seen general testing and validation. Today, we will see the top-down design process. Any design process consists of a complete architecture of the sensor network, including where the nodes are, which protocols to use, and many other factors. For examples, in the design process, the designer could decide to use a particular routing protocol, MAC protocol, and so on. However, both protocols are complex and both cannot fit on the sensor node. It is considered as a vital design problem. This design should make sure that all the details are discussed and evaluated, and the complete architecture of the system must be well analyzed by the system expert. So in the next section, we will focus on the implementation process and deals with the connecting individual components and testing them. Now let us look at the network. In last lecture, we have discussed WINAD example. We will proceed with the same to understand the top-down design process. Given the WINAD and the requirement analysis, you have several options for the general network. You could install a sensor at each WIN having hundreds of nodes. This is quite large number for such a small WINAD. At the same time, this deployment will also provide the highest sensing precision. Another possibility is to deploy the network only in half or one-third of the WINAD. This will provide the owner with high precision and a good point of comparison with the other half. Yet another possibility is to deploy sensors node not at all WINs but only at some of them. Here, the experience of the owner may be crucial because the sensors needs to be placed at the most relevant position. In this case, these are the places where the land flattens and around the trees, as there the land is able to store more water and the temperature is lower. Furthermore, you need to consider that the different grapes wine varieties have different properties and different notes. But different research and owner experiences suggest that it is always desirable to install the sensors at approximately every second WIN and in each direction, as it is shown in figure. Figure shows the network consists of 36 sensor nodes, each of them gathering the temperature, humidity, and light readings. The sensors are positioned to cover the flat areas and different grape wine varieties. Furthermore, the neighboring sensors between two varieties offer opportunities to see fine-grained differences between the grape wine varieties and between the neighboring wines. Next question, which is very important, is that what is the energy requirement? Instead of considering exchangeable batteries, you should consider solar powered one, as previously discussed. Each sensor will be equipped with a small solar panel similar to those used for the solar garden lamps, and the sink is positioned in the house, which is connected to the internet and power grid. The sink does not need any special protection because it is in a well protected house with stable temperature and the humidity levels. However, the sensor need protections from animals and the curious tourist. They will be installed on a pillar as high as the vines and firmly connected to them. They are also protected with transparent but hard packaging and have a QR code to explore. This typically works well as most of the curious people just want to know what these things is. A QR code offers a possibility to explore without damaging the sensor nodes intentionally, or it may be not. Now let us look at the problem of the node neighborhood. In terms of the network topology and the neighborhood properties, since the network is relatively dense and distances short, problem should not be expected. In order to fully secure this, you should perform a couple of experiments in the field and test both short and long links. The problems you are typically looking for are isolated nodes, nodes with too few neighbors, chain of nodes, nodes with too many neighbors, and the critical nodes. Let us see it with example. The isolated nodes shown in the figure in this case is the node 41 and 51, which might be isolated as they are the outermost nodes. It needs to be tested whether they are connected to at least two neighbors. Another problem is node with too few neighbors. This is similar to the previously isolated nodes but less critical. In this WINAD, many nodes can have in theory only one neighbors. For example, node 41, node 20 and 51. Chains of node is another problem. The previous problem often leads to chains of the nodes. In this WINAD, the probability of having chains is low because we can see that the structure installed is like grid of nodes. In other cases, chains are very risky as their entire performance depends on all nodes in the chain, and single failure will break the complete chain. Next problem is node with too many neighbors. This problem is quite opposite from the previous ones. However, when a node has too many neighbors, it also needs more energy to maintain information about them, and it might serve as a forwarder for too many nodes. In this case, many nodes could have many neighbors. For example, node 32 has many neighbors that you can see in the figure. This is best handled by the link and the routing protocols. Another problem is the critical node. These nodes serve as a forwarders for many neighbors and at the same time have a few neighbors to reach the sink. In this case, many nodes like node 1, node 3, node 12 and node 10 are very close to the sink, so the risk is low. Otherwise, you would need to provide extra nodes to spread the load. The next problem is related to the node. As we know that the main node level problems are dead node and seemingly the only dead nodes. What is important at this stage of the design process is what will happen if some of the nodes die. If the previous node neighborhood level design has properly done, nothing bad should happen if some of the nodes die. However, you can still differentiate between two types of networks. So there are two types of network that you have seen. One is the one hop networks and second one is the multi-hop networks. In one hop networks, the death of the individual nodes does not affect the work of the other nodes. The network can die gradually, and even if only one node is left, it can work correctly. Thus, node dying is allowed and does not need any special precautions in the implementation phase. Whereas in the multi-hop networks, the death of the individual node affects the work of other and especially their communication. Even if in some networks, cooperation is performed before sending the final result to the sink, the network can still be considered as a multi-hop. Here, you cannot really allow for too many nodes to die, and you need to take implementation steps to recognize and prevent the death of nodes. In this YNAT example, we have a second type of network, and thus we need to recognize and prevent node death. Now we will discuss individual components of the nodes. It is time now to derive which components are needed in the YNAT. Figure presents a summary of the needed components. However, this is the greatest advantage of the structured analysis and design. The next section discussed some of the important concepts and approaches when implementing the YNAT application. Before going to the next section, we will try to identify the individual components of the node. In figure, it shows that the software part and the hardware part, these are very important. Typically, microphone, transceiver like Zigbee, humidity sensors, temperature sensors, solar radiation sensors, and so on is a part of hardware, and the different software these are used that we have to consider for the implementation. So now look at the bottom-up implementation process. First, you need to identify the hardware to use. Essentially, you have two options. First one is off the shelf, or second one is the custom built nodes. It is also called as the homemade nodes and its solutions. For straightforward and rather standard applications, we will be often able to find a complete solution on the market. For example, sensor nodes already connected to the cloud. This looks attractive, and in some cases they might be the perfect solution. However, the few properties need to be evaluated for both off-the-shelf and custom-made solutions. And the first one is the price. Price of the complete solution for the wireless sensor network implementation is much higher than for homemade solutions, and it is expected to be very less. Fulfillment of requirement during the implementation is very crucial issue. Here we have to ask the questions like, are all your requirements really fulfilled? You need to check carefully all items that is needed to implement the wireless sensor network. For example, some off-the-shelf solutions might not offer a solar batteries. Furthermore, the use of data and their representation might be different from what the user expects. Designer must take care of all requirements during the design process. The designer need to focus on programmability too. Can you change the software at any time, or you have purchased it from the proprietor? This is very important when the application or some of the software components are rather non-standards. This is often the case with consumer-oriented products such as a smart home house systems. Wireless sensor network must have extendability property also. Especially when the user would like to extend the system later, it is crucial to select a system which can be freely extended and modified. This may be clearly given in homemade systems, but often a trouble with off-the-shelf solutions. Service agreement is necessary in most of the cases. Off-the-shelf solution often offers paid service agreements which guarantee the work of the system of some extent. This is convenient but also inflexible and expensive. For Vinode application, the typical decision is to select an off-the-shelf hardware which can be programmed by open source operating systems. And architecture should also be tough decision for the Vinode applications. Individual node levels modules process is one of the important part of the bottom-up implementation process. You can now proceed with the implementation of the individual components. However, some important concepts need to be considered. The first one is define first the input and output of the individual modules. For example, for your regular sensing components, the input is a timer firing regularly, and the output are temperature, humidity, and solar radiations. Second one, reuse as much as possible. If existing modules already offers the required functionality, reuse them. If there is already a module for regular temperature sensing, reuse it to add humidity and solar radiation readings. You can use it many times, which will save the cost also. Third one is ensure you fully understand reused modules. For example, when you decide to reuse the temperature regular reader, make sure it does not exactly what you expect it to do. It could be that it only delivers the temperature if it is above some threshold. And the fourth one, do not make dependencies between the components. This is one of the most important concepts as it allows you to test individual components separately from each other and reuse them for other applications. Do not make any assumptions about which module does what, but implement the module in a self-sustainable way. For example, the link quality protocol can reuse packets arriving for and from other modules, but it should also be able to create its own packets if no others are present. The testing of the individual nodes level modules can be best done in simulation, where many different scenarios and event sequences can be tried out. Now let us consider the node as an entity. On the individual component, those are implemented and tested, you should analyze the node as a whole. The main principles are making sure you have enough memory process or the processing, all components are correctly interconnected, event order, and reboot handling. Individual components rarely have a memory problem. However, putting all components together might result in a memory and or the processing bottleneck. Make sure that all components are correctly interconnected. Thoroughly analyze the interconnections between the components of the system. Look especially for shared data structures, where reading and writing access might create a collisions. Event order following is also important. Sometimes the event in the system might be ordered in a very odd way. Consider the following example. Perhaps you use two timers, one for reading the sensory data and other for sending the packet with the data out. However, sometimes the reading timer fires first, but sometimes the sending timer does. If the order is not deterministic, for some reason, the packets will be sometimes hold duplicate data and sometimes keep readings. The event order is crucial for making the node as a whole work correctly. Reboot handling, this is a very important part. What happens when a node reboots? How does it obtain correct internal and external states? You need to make sure that the node always start very clean and that it is able to obtain a correct state either from internally saved information or from the communication with others. The testing of the node as a whole can be done again in simulation. However, testing on hardware is a crucial at this step. Now consider the network as an entity. Finally, you need to analyze the behavior of the network as a whole. This relates mostly to communication and the topology issues and the main concepts like reboot handling as well as the communication stands. Again, a node reboot might result in unexpected behavior, wrong routing information, time and location. What happens when nodes reboots? How do the other nodes react to this? Designer must take care of it. We should make sure that the implemented communication protocol work correctly to avoid the collision, congestions and the energy wasting. Testing of the complete network can be conducted again either in simulation or in test beds. However, it is crucial to confirm the implementation in a sample deployment site or in the final deployment site. The choice often depends on the cost and the availability of testing possibilities. For example, testing a parking system on a university or industrial campus is feasible, whereas testing the vineyard on a campus is not feasible solution. Finally, you also need to keep in mind that wireless sensor networks deployment is still in its initial stage. It is tough, complex and critically organized process which works well for industrial level solutions such as complete hardware and software solutions, but it is very inefficient for a new environment, applications and research topics.